Hi everyone, welcome. It's Gina here, soul inspired reflections. I decided to come on today, October 11th, and do a recording just on a energetic read. Pulled a few cards from the Gateway Light Activation Oracle deck. I did pull these cards off camera yesterday on October 10/10/2024. And then later on recognize, oh yeah, 10/10 with that's like portal energy, it's amplified and things of that nature. But the reason why I was inspired to kind of like, let me just get a sense of what's being activated within us right now, potentially some of you out there, because I have definitely been noticing it's been very palpable, like intense energy within me, and feeling like the feeling of anger, and recognizing I'm not angry, but I'm feeling anger in the air, just heavier energy, very masculine energy, like conflict kind of energy. At least that's how I will describe it. So I decided to pull a few cards, and 4 cards came out of the deck. We have Soul Star Activation, fulfilling soul contracts, remembering who you are. We have Akashic Records, and the message there is clearing old stories, releasing past lives, and freedom. And I feel these are all very, very powerful cards right now. Sirius Star of Blessings. Yes, proceed, be seen, and push through. Okay, so stay on your path of light where you're feeling called to go. And then we also have the Ancestral Realm card that came out. And the message on that is karmic release, healing the lineage, and boundaries. And all of these were just kind of brought more and more sense. And I also want to recognize that we've had a few things occur this week, one of which the war in the Gaza Strip and Israel and things like that. And that is very intense energy that is being felt by everyone, whether you're conscious of it or not. That was another theme today with some clients I was working with, and he was describing, I was reading the paper about the war, and then my body had these symptoms it shouldn't be having. And so that reminded me, like, oh yeah, we are all feeling this energy that's intense, and we feel it in the body. And how this is a reminder to those of you, really everybody, to really become aware of the information of your body. It is speaking to you all the time. And for those of you that understand the elemental kingdom and things of that nature, your body is an elemental. It knows your soul history. It wants to be communicated with by you. It's constantly communicating with you. And it helps keep you healthy and vibrant. But that being said, like any other ally, we must be in right relationship with it. And so many of us, myself included, we have to remind ourselves to be in communication and listening to the body. And the way the body speaks to us is through discomfort, through sensory, right? Smells, hearing. You get a deep feeling, a knowing, or intuition, physical sensation of the body. Like the gut can turn. Like I know for me, if I'm around people speaking poorly about others, and it's just going in a different direction, my gut contracts. Different things. If I start to go into this place where I'm not feeling supported, my back starts to give out on me. And so it's paying attention to how your body communicates with you, and also the way the body communicates and has a common way of communicating and information, and where information is held and stored, and how that is, you have to learn how to translate it for yourself. What are the emotions telling you? There's wisdom there, but you have to come to your own awareness to reflect and contemplate and to be with the energy, and allow yourself to discern it through your I am presence. through, as you bring in your I am presence and higher perspective, this is where we can come also into the let's take a look at the cards too. So you're bridging your intuitive center, your heart opening, your higher self coming in, the ability to connect to your monad, more direct connection to source. And everyone's at different levels and stages of this. So there's part of what's happening for all of you. First, remember to stay and proceed on your golden line. Wherever you're being called to, bring your focus in there as you're being aware of all these other things. Bring your focus there on the task at hand. And to me, I feel a large part of those that I'm speaking directly to, those that are recognizing they're integrating their I am presence or higher qualities, that they're recognizing that they have a purpose here in life to be light and integrate light into the body. And what does that really mean? How do you go through that healing journey and build foundational energetic tools to support that process? And part of that is understanding your aura, your light body, your chakra system, connecting to the body through the breath and grounding in to the heart of the earth, and be that conduit, that closed circuit of energy of the heart of the earth, the heart of you, your I am presence, and the heart of the universe, and allow that to become one breath. Visualize a protective field around you until you just know it's there and no longer being impacted the same way by the external energies. You'll still feel them, but your level of discernment with them and what is yours and what's passing in and through you and out, and will become much more clear for you the more you are creating time to be with the energy and feel it and talk to it. And how does it express itself in and through your body? And what type of vision and imprints are you getting in information while you are in that stillness of it all, and kind of the void? So ancestral realm. Okay. Ancestral realm. Some of you may be having karmic releases, healing lineage. I had a recent client, it was very much ancestral healing for her. And so that can bring some discomfort. But as we are recognizing, all these could continue forward because we're clearing old stories. Excuse me. We're clearing the old stories. You're clearing out your record. Soul contracts are being completed as well as being released. There are some things the souls have agreed to do that you just don't need to do anymore. You can clear your record, holding on to the wisdom of your soul's information, but clear your record and start new. You have the power to do that. You still have to bring levels of healing. If your soul is meant to complete a contract, it will, but you have the power now to release any commitments and soul contracts that no longer serve your highest good and that pull you away from your line, your golden line, your purpose. You don't have to, meaning there was a time when people had to go through suffering. And granted, everything is always a choice, but you don't have to go through the suffering anymore. You're learning how to master the emotional body, which also means you don't have to even go through pain in the same way you've been going through pain. Meaning you may still feel pain, but your relationship to it is changing. The discomfort won't be, because you become detached from holding on to feeling anger. You're no longer in a victim mindset. You're going through this paradigm shift where you can just recognize, wow, that, like, kind of like I said, I'm recognizing the feeling of anger has been really much around me, and I'm feeling it, and I can feel it go out. I'm not treating people any differently, but there's an edginess. There's just more like, just kind of, I'm not as playful right now. It's really direct and specific. And there's a piece to that, is like we call in Metatron's energy, as I'm even talking to him while we're talking, is because there's a time to be direct. There's a time to be direct and clear and not like kind of pussyfoot around anything. And perhaps this is a time in your life to be clear with boundaries as you're healing ancestral things. Where are you not clear with your own boundaries? Because to clear ancestral things also requires you to have new boundaries, to clear them, to start something new. Okay, Akashic record, clearing your record, creating a new record for yourself, a new timeline. And this, when you heal ancestral patterns, because everything's patterns, you heal the past, present, and future, because we're bringing everything into the present moment, every lifetime, every parallel universe, that everything that is connected to that pattern can be healed and released. Remember, soul contracts being released, karmic things are being released. And look at this beautiful energy coming through the top of that. It's like almost the caduceus, right? The kundalini energy rising above, the healing energy. Like if you think of like medical field, they have the caduceus, and that's very healing. But also there's this beautiful fire, there's alchemy in it. It reminds me of in shamanism, when you work with the West. In my studies, we represented the West and the element of fire in the West, but there's also this piece with fire. It's very alchemizing, right? It can help things rebuild, rebirth, right? It's kind of, I'm thinking of how fire can help reseed the land, right? When we need the hotter piece to crack open the seeds that need the heat to be broken up for the seed to come out of the shell, so the forest can rebuild, things of that nature. Let's see what else is in here. We have the beautiful sunset. It does, see, we're actually looking into the West in this picture. West can very much be a sign of new beginning as well, right? It's an ending. With an ending, there comes a new beginning. So you're releasing and ending these patterns and creating a new one that is more aligned and more free. Everything is to lead you toward your freedom, your sovereignty, your healing, and so no longer be limited even by your lineage. It's a blood healing too, because it's in your DNA. This looks like a double helix. So as you connect, as you bring in your higher self, as you're freeing yourself from past things, past experiences, you're already fulfilling your soul contracts. This actually will allow you, those of you that resonate with the term starseed and recognizing you're here for a purpose, this is going to allow you to fulfill your divine purpose with more ease and grace, even if that means you're just doing your own healing of your own piece of body, mind, soul, spirit, because that changes the world around you and your light gets spread out. It ripples out to the world and it is felt. So as you're coming into that, you're healing also the soul star chakra, and being activated. With that comes a greater healing and release of karmic patterns and misunderstandings or indiscretions on a soul level. So you have the ability to call in your soul and all parties involved, so that you've ever had any misunderstandings with. Whether you can remember them or not is not necessary, but the purpose and purity of your intention and connection to all these other souls offers the opportunity for them to also forgive you, for you to forgive them, to bring love back to it and gratitude. Think about the Hawaiian prayer of Ho'oponopono, right? I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Very powerful prayer you can use to support you as you purify and heal your soul star chakra, because any soul that is harboring ill will or holding on to the past experiences with you and your soul, and same thing with your soul and others, it limits your ascension and connection to your monadic presence and I am presence. So as you go and purify that chakra, because it's one of your higher chakra centers, which bring in, I gotta grab something real quick. Hold on, be right back. Which clears the pathway for your, I believe it's called the heart line, but the crystalline silver cord that comes in through the higher chakras. And in fact, I was just looking at it. The Hara line, yes. Again, it comes through the top. Let me see if I can, and it almost takes on the image of the Sri Yantra in the sacred geometry. And I'll hold that there. Okay, that's depicted there. And we're referencing right now higher chakras. And it's kind of interesting that that arrow is right kind of in between it's above the crown causal and kind of in between where I would describe the soul star chakra to be. And it's a vertical channel. You're clearing your vertical channel to source. All of us are becoming more sovereign, and this so we can also access the anti-particle realm or dimension or access, so we can bring in the vision of what we see in our divine blueprint in that space, in that void, if you will, the anti-particle, and vision it, work it there, and literally bring that energy into the physical body and manifest it into physical form. Okay. And there's so much that happens with it, but at the same time, part of this is activating your eye of God, the all-seeing eye within the third eye component. Your soul starts getting cleared out, and so you're being freed of those limitations there on a soul level from all parties involved, because we're part of the oneness, right? If one person is stuck, it holds back the others, right? So just as much as others are lighting up and evolving, it raises others. Okay, it has the opportunity to raise everybody, and every soul still has choice in their own divine timing, but it releases and gives the opportunity for the healing to occur, and the no longer being held back by your past indiscretions and choices and experiences. You're clearing the stories around everything, where you're no longer holding on to the stories as you once identified with them in a specific way. Same thing with emotions, right? Like, I recently had a client who it's so held on her. In Ayurvedic, you have the doshas, okay? And everyone has the doshas within them, but it's about harmonizing them. And some people have a more dominant dosha. There's Pitta, Vata, Kapha. And so this person, while I'm working with her, and she's like, well, I can't go out in the heat because I'm this. And I think she said Vata. And but that piece doesn't matter. The point was, she's telling herself, well, I can't go in the heat because I am this. She's over identifying and programming her body and mind that she can't do something because she's this. Didn't even try to do anything out in the heat. Automatically, it was just no. And as you and I both know, or can be reminded, there are times in the day that are cooler, right? Morning time and the evening, right? So this particular person was already setting herself up to say no to doing exercises outside. Because part of my work, I suggest clients take exercises and go walk in nature, be in nature, sit in nature, even if it's just looking out your window at a tree, because it helps heal your body, helps calm your nervous system. It helps wake you back up to connection. And right away, this person's like, no, it's heat. And there's not even a hot day, right? So be mindful where you are holding on to your stories, right? This is no different than people that take the Enneagram, which is beautiful. It gives you a map of you. It's a map of you, okay? It's just no different. Like, I'm a Virgo, right? But I don't lead with the fact that I'm a Virgo. Yes, I have very strong Virgo-like qualities, but I've also had to harmonize them and tone them down through my own development and growth, because there's a time to be analytical. There's a time to put everything in order, and there's a time not to. Like, I don't have to be strict in that way. That's interferes with relationships, my own growth, things like that. I can relax. Okay. Same thing with this. If you're over identifying with a label to describe yourself and what you're going through, pay attention to the story you're telling yourself, because that will limit you. This is the same thing how we use a new story to basically you're rewiring your neurological pathways. You're literally rewiring your body. So this is why mindset is important. Mindset, what you speak and what you choose to do must align if you want to create a new pattern in your life. I have another client reading a book on how to create a new pattern in his life because he's told himself that he doesn't like stretching, that he won't do it. Yet he wants his back to be more flexible and mobile, but he chooses not to move his body. So now he's reading a book, How to Build Better Habits. What he's not recognizing is he's playing this mind game with himself because he's in resistance to taking participation in his own wellness. So for me, in working with him, I just can only meet him where he's at, because as an energetic intuitive, an empath, I can feel and see, and there's some clairvoyance there and claircognizant, that I'm like, oh, this is the energetic pattern. This is the game he's playing that he doesn't even realize he's doing. So clearing your Akashic record, clearing your patterns to start new, fresh. You get to create your new way, releasing your soul contracts so you can activate your soul star more fully and operational, so you're no longer being limited. Now, that's not saying if you have a contract that there's a potential, some of you have contracts that must be completed for learning purposes, but there's other things in life where we're like, oh, I don't have to agree to that anymore, right? Just like people that go through abuse on a soul level, so many people go, oh, but I agreed to do that. No, you don't have to go through an evolutionary process and be abused by anyone, verbally, mentally, emotionally, financially, period. You no longer have to agree to any of those contracts or think that you do as a way to kind of make amends of, an understanding of what happened, right? Yes. Can they propel you forward? Absolutely. And that's where we kind of go back and forth. There are some souls that had an agreement to go through certain things, but what I'm reminding you of, you can release those types of agreements now and draw in the healthier relationship with yourself as you connect to your I am presence. And once you begin to fully start to feel that presence, it won't matter to you if you're in or out of a relationship, because you're willing to wait for the right one and no longer engaging the potential relationships that are in front of you, that the patterns you already see are there, when you're just like, nope, I'm going to wait. Because I still watch people do this that are a little farther along, and I've watched the pattern continue, the way they start the relationships the same way, and then all of a sudden they want to put the brakes on. And I'm just like, well, you're working out a pattern. And they keep focusing their attention on the other party. And I said, no. This is not about the other party. Yes, they're playing a role, but showing something to you. But I've watched you over and over again. This is the pattern. You have the choice now to either continue the old pattern and perpetuate that, or choose to the new reality that you want to create for yourself. And you often requires you to make a different choice when you start romantic relationships, or just any relationship that may eventually turn romantic. Right? So once that person makes that connection and then chooses differently, it will permanently or potentially permanently rewire that pattern in her and heal the old one. The old one goes dormant, and she's created a new record for herself. Right? Create a new record for herself. And you no longer have to recapitulate everything and all the emotional pieces, because you're learning a different way to relate to them, to understand them, to communicate with your body. And when I said that, she was kind of thrown back. And I'm just like, you don't have to do that anymore. But some people choose to continue to do that, and they're stuck in a loop and in suffering and over analyzing every little thing, going to the deck of cards, going, oh, I wonder where that person is in this house. Why? Pay attention to your line. Pay attention to your blessings. Is it supporting your highest good to do that? Do you have permission to energetically peek into somebody in that way? This is masterclass. Be in your mastery, be in your lane, and know when and if that's appropriate, right? Proceed in your own line to be pushed through into your vision, into what you are meant to be doing, or to learn and discover what you're meant to be doing here. Where are you drawn to? Look at how bright that star is. You're bright. Go be bright. Really stop with the old choices that you keep doing over and over again, expecting a different result. You will not get a different result till you make a different choice. You will not create a new pattern until you create a new pattern. By making a different choice, your actions and voice line up with your choices. Okay, so again, that goes into the ancestral healing. The ancestral healing, clearing your Akashic record, creating a new record for yourself, releasing your past lives. That also goes into the soul star activation, because you're also releasing that and healing it, which leads towards your freedom, You're creating new boundaries, creating new things through your ancestral line as well. And then, you're just finding and discovering where to proceed along your path, and let the rest fall away. Let the rest just fall away and proceed. Just keep proceeding. While, yes, you're feeling all these energies that are heavy right now for some of us, because there's multiple things happening. Remember, you're in the West energy right now. For some of you, it's where things do die away, physically, emotionally, mentally. There's a piece of you, or pieces of you, that are dying, and to allow your DNA to upgrade, to allow your I am presence to come in more into your body, more light into your body. So in the West, in shamanism, it's a time where people cross over as well. So some of you also may be experiencing loss, like physical loss of people passing away, and remembering that the soul and energy doesn't die, but it doesn't mean we don't feel grief and sadness. Just remember that soul, no matter which way they were taken from us, I'll say, because sometimes we have horrific things occur, like wars and shootings. My heart and love goes out to anyone and all of us that are impacted by what's going on overseas, in all the wars that are occurring, known and unknown to me, and as well as just what's in our own backyard. And that being said, if there's a piece of you that can also hold the space, that on a soul level, this is where those contracts came in. Some people, they fulfilled their soul contracts and are crossing over into the West, into the next portal of their life, soul life. But it's bringing you something too, that ability for you to also continue along in your ascension, clearing ancestral things. Sometimes the earth itself goes through a deep cleanse and healing. So anytime there is anything that occurs on the land holds that imprint. So think about where there's discord in the world, and how many centuries of discord and life have been lost on the earth herself. And think about even the recent earthquake in Afghanistan, that the world is shaking things up, and we feel that too. We feel that vibration, we feel the loss, the fear, the sadness, the pain, and even in both the wars overseas right now, if you're in the US, and we also feel that here in the US in our own discordant energy as a country, and a lot of volatility in its own right. In recognizing these areas too are, there's healing to be done. And how might, even for those of you that do earth and grid work and connect to, or even do violet flame work, how might we send violet flame energy to these areas that have a lot of discord? I'd really invite you to just go into your heart center and visualize that violet flame of transmutation, be sent over to these regions to assist in calming it down, transfiguring the anger into more peace, into light, in whoever is willing to also receive that too, that all is well, and to continue to push through and stay in your heart center, right? How might we still send that love and light to those areas of the world that may need that support right now? And to those that have lost people, or know people that have been injured. And this is everyone involved, and there's no side to take, because there's no winners in war. If we're coming into a time of oneness and unity more now than ever, and we still need to continue to stay that course, to remember the star blessings, to remember we have the power to help the earth also clear her Akashic record and start new. This isn't just you. You are part of the earth, and to clear all these things in the ancestral, and we can bring back the ancestral wisdom and our connection to life, to be free again, and to be in a harmonious cycle, and to be in the natural evolution and ascension of life itself and the universe itself and the planet. That's all I have for you today. I hope you find this well. My name is Gina, Soul Inspired Reflections. Much love to all of you as you are navigating this level of your ascension and healing. It's bringing up so much for all of us. And to recognize your sensitivities now, and to have some really good time for self-care. Go to the water, get in the water, take time to nourish your body, sleep, eat healthy, go find some good people to be around, and remember the supportive things in your life, and the love in your life, and the gratitude for being here on this planet. And I want to thank you, all of you, for your own journey here, and heart work that you're doing, and love that you're sending out, and whatever your healing journey is, because that does support not just you, but it supports the world as you heal and grow and connect to your heart and your love in action. You're connecting to your I am presence. That too impacts the world in the most positive and beautiful way. And we do this together. Yes, you're being asked to do a lot individually, but you're not alone. You always have someone or beings of light or angels guiding you along your way, even when you don't feel the presence there. Know deep down, it's always there with you. Much love to you. Have a beautiful night. Be sure to like and share this video if you find others may support it and find some insight. Again, Gina, Soul Inspired Reflections. Until next time.